Let's say government buys goods from a supplier and takes economic ownership of the goods. Per contract, government will pay the supplier within 3 months of the purchase. During the first 3 months after the purchase, this amount is an account payable of government. Let's further assume government is unable to pay this bill on the due for payment date. Now this account payable is in arrears. Even if government is using a cash basis of recording, this amount is in arrears because it was not settled on its due for payment date. So where would we get information on arrears? The accounting system will not record arrears separately. So, unless GFS and PSDS compilers collect supplementary information from accounting or other sources to estimate arrears, they would not be aware of the amount that is in arrears in our example. Compilers should collect information on arrears from their creation, that is, at the time when payments due are not made, until they are extinguished, such as when debt arrears are repaid, rescheduled, or forgiven by the creditor, or when, say, wages and salaries in arrears are paid. You should also collect information on interest that accrues on debt service payments in arrears, both principal and interest arrears. How would we record arrears in GFS? In a cash basis of recording, the non-payment of amounts that are due for payment are simply not recorded. Subsequent cash payments for the settlement of arrears should be recorded as a reduction in financial assets in the form of currency and deposits. We then record a counterpart entry in the relevant categories of expense, net acquisition of non-financial assets, or net incurrence of liabilities, based on the nature of the arrears. If we record arrears in this way, we recognize the appropriate economic nature of these payments because they have not been recorded anywhere in the appropriate GFS categories in the past. Under the accrual basis of recording, cash payments for the settlement of arrears reduce the outstanding liability, with a counterpart entry in the relevant financial asset or liability that financed the settlement of the arrears. This is because, on an accrual basis, the economic event was already recognized at the time the event was accrued. Using our example, the acquisition of the goods from the supplier was already recorded when government took economic ownership of the goods, with a counterpart entry in other accounts payable. The settlement of arrears involves a transaction that reduces other accounts payable, with a counterpart entry in financial assets in the form of currency and deposits, or an incurrence of another liability if the settlement was financed that way.